Barakataya Hawa, Barakataya Hawa Shai, Barakataya Hawa, Barakataya Hawa Shai, Barakataya Hawa, Barakataya Hawa Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth, blessings and safety to the elect. All right, and this is an article, all right, that was published by USA Today. Okay. And this is spirit because on the day of Juneteenth, I happened to be on a delivery, and I got my windows, kind of rolled down, and I'm playing my music, man, and I'm driving. I see this fine shorty, you know what I'm saying? She walking the pit bull, and she say something to me, and she throw up the peace sign. So I'm thinking she choosing. So I turn the radio down, and I'm like, "What's going on?" She like, "Happy Juneteenth Day," and I'm like, "What's that?" And she like, "You don't know what Juneteenth Day is?" I'm like, "No, I don't." She like, "Yo, black ass don't know what Juneteenth is?" I said, "I don't. What is it?" She say, "Shut the fuck up talking to me." And like to the point where like she was screaming and you see veins popping out the side of her head. Jake take this so-called white man holidays too serious, man. Okay? Now it would have been funny if I asked her about the Passover. Or if I say, "Hey, what is the Day of Atonement?" Or what is the role of a woman according to the scriptures? Okay? What is the Passover? Okay? See, Jake don't know about those high holy days. They only know about the so-called white man holidays. And, Esau making mockery out of you niggas for Juneteenth, man. Because you niggas are still slaves. Okay? You niggas are still slaves, man. You went from, being private-owned slaves to corporate slaves, man. Okay? For all you niggas that think we're free, okay, I got a precept for you. This is Baruch 3:8. It says, "Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity," man. So we're still in captivity, okay? And we're going to remain in captivity all the way until Yahweh Shah comes back, man, to deliver us. All right, Baruch 3:8. "Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach." And that thou ain't talking about the so-called white man, all right? Because he physically, shipped us off and sold us to these other nations, okay? But that thou is talking about Yahweh, man. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah, okay? He's the one who laid these curses upon us and put us in captivity and sent our enemy against us and, sent us to all these other nations, man. The Lord did it. Read Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, okay? But it says, "Where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse and to be subject to payments." And you want to know why? Every time you get paid, man, you got to dish money out. You got to pay this bill. You got to pay that bill. Then once you pay this bill and that bill, okay, you get paid again, all right? And before you get paid, you think, "Oh, this check is mine, and I paid my bill." Something else comes up, man. All right, it's because of the curses. All right, it says, "And to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our power," which we are our forefathers, for those who can receive it. So because of our iniquities and our transgressions, this is why we are in these conditions. Okay? But see, in Jake mind, just because you can, go to the same supermarket with the so-called white man or the rest of these nations, go to the same movie theater, drink out the same water fountain, all right, share public transportation and sit anywhere you want, you niggas believe you free, okay? And you niggas is, psychologically destroyed, man, mentally destroyed, okay? But let's read a little bit of this article. It says 2 people were killed and at least 16 others were injured after gun violence erupted in South Carolina, Oklahoma during the Juneteenth celebration, authorities said. Hey, the scriptures say what, man? Let me get this. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 23, verse 22. It says, "Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to rest from judgment." So you ain't supposed to follow a multitude to do evil, to do wickedness, man. All right, and you sit back, man. What is actually going on that's righteous at a damn Juneteenth celebration. Okay, you niggas is in the streets celebrating, parading. I just did a lesson dealing with, Bacchus. Okay? Bacchus, that damn demon, that partying, that flesh-pleasing demon, okay? That drinking, that getting drunk, that debauchery, man. Okay? That debauchery is heavy amongst Jake. Like I said, just like it was heavy amongst Jake in the days of Noah, man, when Noah was building the ark, he was also prophesying to, the people that a flood was coming. That debauchery was heavy amongst our people then. And that's why they knew not until the flood came and took their ass away, man. Okay? It says police in Anderson County, South Carolina, and Tulsa, Oklahoma, this is two different, states, man, are investigating two separate shootings that occurred on the night of June 21st as hundreds of people gathered for Juneteenth events. Juneteenth is a federal holiday celebrated annually on June 19th, commemorating the end of slavery in the United States after the Civil War, which, like I said, man, slavery was never ended. It still exists. Goofies. Okay? But like I said, man, Jake is just, contrary to the ways of the Lord, man. Matter of fact, this is Jeremiah 10:2. It says, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, learn not the way of the heathen. All right? So anything that the heathen does, you're not to exercise in it, man. Okay? Hey, because Esau, he set up things that's contrary to the ways of our power. A perfect example, man. Even with these holidays, if you pay attention, most of this devil holidays, it lands on a Sabbath, man. So Jacob be so turned up, all in that holiday spirit, man. All right, heavy demons on them. They'll be turning up. But here it is. It's the Sabbath. It's the Sabbath, man. Okay? So, like I said, man, you niggas ain't supposed to be learning or participating in activities in the society. That's why the scriptures say what, man? And I'm going to get that next. All right? Matter of fact, I'm going to get it now, man. This is Micah 2:10. All right? But Jake wonder why they go to these different gatherings and, shooting start, happening and niggas get shot, man. Okay? Niggas get shot. Oh, a fight broke out. 20 people was murdered. 20 people were killed or 17 were shot in intensive care because the Lord commanded us not to participate in these things, man. This is Micah 2:10. All right, it says, arise ye and depart, for this is not our rest, man. So we supposed to arise and depart from this place spiritually, man. Okay? We're not to, hey, because I remember you had a couple that knew they were Israelites. These niggas read this scripture, man, and they decided to pack up and catch a flight back to Israel. I don't know what actually happened with the guy. I want to say he had to join the military, if I'm not mistaken. But I could be wrong. That could be for another situation. But the point is, this is not a physical departure. The Lord didn't say go book a one-way airline to Israel, man. Okay? Well, we're going to go back in Israel once that land is cleansed by thermonuclear fire, man. Okay? So we're to pretty much, hey, man, cast off the ways of this society, man. Quit celebrating these damn pagan holidays because they go back to idol worship, man. Okay? Stop participating in this madness. Stop, worshiping JC and all these other false idols, man. Rehearse the righteous acts. Learn who your power is, man. Okay? Learn the difference between righteous and unrighteous. Take heed to the prophets, man, first and foremost, man. Okay? Seek the Lord while he may be found, period. Okay? So rise ye and depart, man. So, you can't be lovers of this world and lovers of Yahweh Shemi Shah, man. Okay? The scriptures say, love not the world, neither the things in it, man. You ain't supposed to love these things, man. Okay? You're supposed to love Yahweh Shemi Shah, man. Okay? But the point is, man, Jake don't get it. Jake still, turning up. It says one woman was killed and 9 others were wounded during a shooting near a Veterans Foreign Wars post in Anderson County. The sheriff's office said in a statement on the social media, a large crowd had gathered in the area for the country's 6th annual Juneteenth celebration. Now, if Jake knew the scriptures and was taking heed to the prophets, all right, they would have knew not to follow a multitude to do evil. Okay, because something like this would happen. Okay? It's bound to happen. We ain't supposed to be, getting together in large crowds, marching or celebrating in the streets, man. You asking for it, man. And then when it happens, you want someone to feel sorry for you, man. Well, look, man, you ain't going to get no sympathy from us, man. Okay? So, hey, man, this is pretty much it, man. Lord willing, it was edifying. And giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Till next time, Shalom.